The main topic for this video is an excellent, freely available. I'm not 100% sure this is legally freely available, but it's also available for I think 20 or $30. You can also buy this book. And then the book name is An Introduction to Egyptian Arabic. In my opinion, this is one of the best, if not the best, and really the only excellent introduction and a grammar and an exercise book which is freely available. The other one, there are a couple of others too, but this one is, in my opinion, really exceptional with its content. So my video here is just give you an overview of the sections, the contents of this excellent book, which you might consider to be used when you want to learn Egyptian Arabic. So it is written by Ernest Abdel-Massih, and this was published in the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. This is a reprint from 2011, but the original book was written in 1975, so practically more than 20 years ago. But of course, the language is just a language, it's eternal in a sense. The book has a number of sections. So the title was An Introduction to Egyptian Arabic. What is really great in this book that it has a very massive grammatical and phonetic sections and units and drills and texts to read, proverbs, thematic word list, a lexicon, a glossary at the end of the book, and cultural text. So really is a complete document, a textbook for the learners. You can have everything from this book. Of course, just keep in mind that maybe it is better to use this book after you have some understanding of modern standard Arabic or classical Arabic, doesn't matter which one, because this book doesn't go into the details of learning, of teaching you how to write and read the Arabic script. But otherwise, it's for beginners. Therefore, you start in the unit 1, unit till it has 20 units. So it gives you really an excellent textbook for learning the language itself. So the first important section starts at 29, and this is phonology of Egyptian Arabic, and this is really a scientific presentation of the Arabic sounds. Of course, when you have some understanding and previous knowledge how these sounds from classical or standard Arabic, definitely these symbols would be not a problem for you to understand, quite straightforward to map them to the letters in standard Arabic. For example, this letter here is the Ain, and this is the Ha, and then this one is the Ghain, the Esh, and all of these sounds are quite typically and available. And this is a quite hefty part. It doesn't only explains how to pronounce the words, but then after some introductory part, it goes into the intricacies of the phonetic rules, and then it also has drills, exercises, how to pronounce, and also the stress is, the accent is also bad, bat, bard, and bint, and banat, and all of these are excellently explained. The book unfortunately has no accompanying audio, so therefore this is which is a big missing point. I will explain to you what other books, what other sources could be available where you need audio for you, other than of course the typical YouTube videos. There are dozens of excellent Egyptian Arabic channels where you can learn the pronunciation, the actual exercises for pronunciation. So this is not really a big deal in my opinion. So this section is really long and complex, and then comes the Egyptian Arabic vowel system. That's the tricky part. Consonants, of course, very hard. Arabic consonants are really challenging to be able to pronounce them. And then comes the general rules, exceptions, elisions, and assimilations. Oh, so that part is really the heart of the colloquial Arabic. How these sounds, how these words should be pronounced in the context of vowels. So this is quite a hefty and long part. And then after this section comes the unit 1 to unit 20. And before that there is a, starting at 63 page, there is an introductory unit, the greetings, which is not really the first unit, but this is just before the first unit. And then the actual lesson starts at page 73. Just keep in mind that the first unit, the first lesson starts on page 73. Sorry, not 73, 74. Excuse me, I'm correcting my record. Unit 1 starts at 74. Again, just keep in mind, الولد كبير, الولد كبير, أيوة. So this is the transliteration system. Of course, it's dead easy to, if you know the words, I mean the Arabic script, that easy to transcribe from this pronunciation into into the Arabic script version. And then every section has grammatical notes, and that is really valuable and excellent. And it has parts of the assimilations and all of the, again, it explains the phonetic rules along with the real grammatical parts. And then it has some basic vocabulary, sample sentences, and drills. This is what is terribly excellent. For example, form similar sentences, idarsi, sahl, awi, and then you can create your own words, just exercise and pronounce. And it has also translation exercises. The book has no key, no solution for the exercises. That's another challenge and drawback. That is, you have to, how to say, correct yourself, or you can of course have a teacher who can help you to correctly translate. But anyway, the exercises are quite straightforward and they are more drills rather than challenging translation exercises. So this goes on until unit 19. At unit 20 on page 274 is unit 20 is for the Arabic script. This is the only section where it explains the corresponding consonant symbols and from the Arabic scripts. However, later, after this part, the exercises and the text you will see, it's going to be used heavily, the Arabic script. So this book, the first part is just transcript, phonetic transcript, but the second part are 80% is written in Arabic script, because the book wants to teach you both the transcript version as well as the Arabic, the traditional Arabic spelling for this colloquial Egyptian. The next part is really a gem, starts on 281. This page is the text. The texts are quite a number. First texts are just transcripts, as if it's a magnetophone or audio recording. You have to figure out, this is really challenging, you have to figure out from the phonetic what could be behind the scene, how the words are to be used, because keep in mind that because this is really the phonetically exact representation of a spoken text. So that's why this is really interesting. And in my opinion, this is not the only book who uses it. Practically every serious book about colloquial Arabic uses some kind of system like this one. And then the first couple of texts for translation, unfortunately these has no English translation, so you should be able to translate them, and let's see what you could do. First of all, let's go step by step. The next part is text with Arabic script. They start on page 292, and this is where you have both Arabic script. In one of my videos, this was the text which I used. Tifl Sa'al Walditu Kullaha. Something like that. Here is the transcript. Tifl Sa'al Walditu Wallaha. Okay, and then it has quite a number of these scripts, and after some time there is no transcript, only the Arabic script. You see, with some comments here and there for the most difficult parts, and there is no English translation for this section. Then comes another very interesting part, 311. These are the Proverbs. The book has no less than 100 proverbs, and many of them, all of them actually in Arabic script, but a number of them with transcript, and English translation is given for all of the 100. And then comes 333, a section for thematic word lists, fruits, vegetables, and so on and so forth, colors. So excellent part for vocabulary building. Actually, keep in mind that the 20 units has hundreds of drills to help you exercise to build your vocabulary. And then comes another interesting part, 358. This is called Lexicon, which is actually an Arabic English glossary. It doesn't follow the root system dictionaries like the Hans Wehr. It uses just this alphabetical, and it follows the English alphabet, the sequence of English alphabet, not the Arabic alphabet. So A, B, and then the, of course in Arabic there is no C, D, E, F, G, Ha, different kinds of Ha, but for example Ha is at the end because it is represented with an X. So this is the lexicon. Keep in mind that this lexicon is quite big. However, for example, the kala, akala, the eating is not included, and the number of words are not included here. So that's why it's very useful to use an alternative dictionary. And if you have a mobile phone, of course, possibly you already know what I'm trying to show you. And this is the Google Translate. This is really excellent. So just use the Arabic keyboard, of course not this way, and then you will be able to use, and almost 100% of the words included in this dictionary, in this glossary, in this book is available also from this Google Translate. And then after the lexicon comes another gem part of the system of this book. This is starting on page 389, and this is called a cultural texts, where you have also transcript version, but here you have English translation. So that's part is even more interesting. And the first text, some of the texts are on in transliteration, transcript. However, later you will have also the Arabic script version of these texts too. You see, family relations. So this part again is brilliantly excellent and a very nice source to learn Egyptian Arabic. So actually this is it. This part is significantly comprehensive. Actually, this book gives you all the tools except audio to learn the grammar, the vocabulary, and the texts are really excellent. If you want to have an accompanying source, let me just show you what I have had, and I, in a sense, I could recommend. I have this is very possibly the best source for Egyptian Arabic. This is the Lingualism Matthew Aldrich website. He is really an excellent an expert and author of Egyptian textbooks. One of my favorite is the Egyptian Colloquial Arabic Verbs, Conjugation Tables and Grammar. This has a very nice grammar summary, everything that you should know about the verbs, the conjugation, and the pronunciation rules. So this is really a brilliant section. And what is also interesting, it has audio. So most of these texts are available on an audio recording, and then you can listen to them. Okay, and then also Egyptian colloquial Arabic vocabulary, another excellent, and all of this has accompanying audio. Shwaya Nafsi, this is really advanced text. Exactly the same. Egyptian Arabic voices, these are very hard. So don't start with these then. So first you should learn the basics from the books like this one. So this is only for the advanced people. The audio, the speakers, they speak brutally fast and impossible to catch up. Even when slowed down, it's very hard to to follow. So this is what I would highly recommend, lingualism. And the other book which I still waiting from Amazon, and this is Kullu Tamam. There is a version available online too, and the audio is also available, but I decided to buy this book too. Kullu Tamam has also audio parts and excellent grammar, and I will review this book later. And that was it, my friends. So this was an explanation, an introduction to the brilliant book of Mr. Ernest Abdel-Massih from the University of Michigan, an introduction to Egyptian Arabic.